And then it just like fades out from there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun.
Her introing is the best.
Yeah. Hello. Well, welcome everybody to another episode of And the Rest is Film History. What should we call? Should we call these episodes something different when I's not here and we're not doing like a history report? What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe like the better episodes. I don't know.
Welcome to the better episodes.
We love I.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll season 2
out.
maybe. Yeah, cool. Well, my name is Josh Nascimento. I'm joined by Reese McTeague.
Good job pronouncing my name, by the way.
Do people not do it right?
Dude, you know, it's one of those names that doesn't, well, and you have one of those names too, where I'm sure,
oh my gosh.
I still, like, vividly remember my, like, elementary school graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's harder when it's on paper because it's spelled a little bit, like, just sounding it out isn't necessarily going to be the best for you, the way my name is spelled.
Yeah.
But somebody, like, was reading it and they said Reese McIntower. And I'm like, you just came up with letters there. Like, that's not even.
They're having fun with riffing
there's
on
no
it. Yeah.
W, like, there's no R, there's no, like, just made up. I'm like, how did you.
McIntower.
I don't know. So I've definitely heard some, like, McTigway, like, there's been crazy.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but I'm glad. I appreciate it. What's the craziest you've heard for?
Ooh, I don't think I've heard like anything like McIntower. That's like pretty wild. I get Nascimento all the time. I get different stuff. It's more spelled. Like people can't spell my name right. to save their lives.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and because it's like a Portuguese name, but people think that it's like Spanish, so like they just like. They give it that kind of like flavor and it's like not correct, but yeah, Nacimiento we get all the time and I'm like, sorry, it's not. It's a white last name. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Cool. For this episode, we were thinking that we were going to do best low budget movies. So we both compiled a list of like 8-ish. I don't know how many you got.
Yeah, I have like 10 because I was just going for movies that I liked that were low budget.
Yeah. Same
but then
here.
there were a couple I'm like, let me just throw this on here because like it's so like objectively like amazing.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how low budget it is.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of those. So I have like 10.
Okay.
But
I didn't count it. I think it was like 8 or 9 or something like that for me. But yeah, so I arranged mine in, I think you did too as well, like arranged it from like highest to least budget.
yeah, I mean,
right?
I have the numbers. I didn't order them,
Okay.
but I will do it in that
You can
order.
read numbers and be like, this is higher.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to start off then?
I'm interested in you starting off.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like researching?
I'm convinced that we have at least 2 for sure that I know that we both have. Because you went also by like some of your favorite movies that are low budget.
Yeah,
right?
okay, yeah. I think I threw in like 1 or 2 that's like, okay, this is like objectively
Right,
like,
right.
people love
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie. But yeah, most of them are just like movies I like.
Okay.
So the one I started off with is Shaun of the Dead. Have you seen Shaun of the Dead?
I haven't.
Okay.
I'm not surprised that you chose that though, actually.
It's like it's right up my alley essentially.
Yeah.
Like Edgar Wright, which we might do a film history episode on later. But he's like one of my favorite directors, and this one was 6.1 million, which is pretty low budget. But yeah, love that movie. I'm kind of surprised you haven't seen it.
I'm kind of surprised I haven't too. He also did Scott Pilgrim, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen Scott Pilgrim. That's probably the only thing I've seen from him, actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Not Baby Driver?
No, I really need to. That's
Wow.
Ansel Elgort, right?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to see that
I
movie.
feel like we've talked about this on the podcast. Like,
Have we actually?
about the Edgar Wright and the lack of Edgar Wright on this podcast. I love Edgar Wright, so I'm definitely campaigning for an episode.
Definitely.
So is that the highest budget movie on your list?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. We didn't give like a cutoff at all, so it's
Yeah,
just like
I feel like I heard 10 maybe. So I have
Okay.
some that are like 8, 9, you know, but
anything. I feel like 10. Yeah, like 11 is like mid-budget. I feel like that's getting into mid.
Like 10 million and $1, like whoa, like slow, you know, that's, you know,
when we get the bankroll. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Cool. What's your first one?
So my highest, I had to go with Lady Bird as $10 million.
Shouts out.
That's
was-
one of my favorite movies.
Was that the
ever.
one you thought was going to be on both of
No,
ours?
no.
Okay.
Yeah. So I definitely have some that are like super low, but some I'm just like thinking of some of my favorite movies that aren't like, like some crazy superhero movies. I'm like, I know that this is gonna be like pretty low.
Yeah.
And I saw it was 10 million, and in my head, I guess I just made up like, oh, 10 million's the cutoff or something. So I had to put Lady Bird on there.
Yeah, definitely.
So good.
I don't know if we've talked about it on this podcast before, have we? I don't think we've talked about it like at all.
I'm sure I've mentioned like in our first episode when we were talking about our favorite movies.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
definitely mentioned it.
Yeah.
But man,
What a picture. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Laurie Metcalf
Yeah.
should have won that Oscar.
Incredible. Yeah.
Saoirse Ronan, I don't know who she lost to, but they should have won. I feel like, and I don't think Greta Gerwig won anything for that either.
No,
which is
no.
sad.
I don't know if it won any Oscars at all.
It was a really stacked year, to be fair.
I'm trying to think.
Like Get Out
2017?
was that year.
Okay, yeah.
Call Me by Your Name was that year.
Okay.
I think that was the year Shape of Water won, maybe.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But I think 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri was like there were a lot of.
Yeah, yeah.
But
okay.
man, that movie.
Yeah,
I
incredible.
just love it. I
Yeah.
just love it. And I feel like that's the kind of movie that like is typically low budget, like coming of age, like
yeah. Definitely.
dramedy a little bit. Like you don't need to do a whole lot. You know?
Right. There's like a decent amount of locations, but they're not like It's like a school gym and like a house. Like it's not like it's nothing crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I love that movie too. I don't think I've talked about how much I love it. It's also one of my favorites. It was very influential for me. Like when it like around the time it came out, I didn't get to see it in theaters, but like, just incredible.
It's funny. The first time I saw it, I was in college, and I was having like a period of just like couldn't really sleep at night, and I was like, I'm kind of bored, but I can't sleep. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I just like rented it from iTunes on my phone and watched it on my phone.
And it was still amazing.
And then I guess when you do that, you have like a 24-hour window where you like have it.
Yeah.
And I immediately watched it again. It was so bad. Yeah.
You're like, let's
I was in
run
a
it back.
dark place. If you could.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, I could figure out my problems, or let's run it back. Let's go.
Yeah.
I've
Great
definitely
That's
been
definitely
there.
one of the movies that I revisit the most too.
Yeah,
sure.
same here. I even I don't even love revisiting movies because I just like get not tired of them, but I'm just like
Sure.
you get tired of them. Like you're just like, but that's one where you just like each time I feel like I get something new out of it. Like I'm just like, that
And
was
it's just,
so amazing.
I feel like funny movies are easier to rewatch. Like,
Really?
it's funny.
Because I feel like they're harder to rewatch because I feel like sometimes you see the jokes coming.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, cool. Lady Bird, great one. My next one is The Way, Way Back. Have you heard of this movie? I don't think most people
I
have.
don't think I have.
Okay. It's a family like my entire family loves this movie. It's a coming of age movie. It's like it's essentially like this like 14-year-old kid is like super like insecure and like doesn't really have like a lot of friends, and his family like goes to this beach house for the summer, and like he gets this job at like a local water park and like makes a bunch of friends there and like falls in love, and it's like very artsy, very cute. Very, very good. Would definitely recommend that. Super, super good. And like my family, that's another one we'll just like, if we don't know what to watch, like let's just watch The Way, Way Back. Like let's just like make it happen.
When did that come out?
2013?
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the budget for that one?
5 million.
5 million. Okay.
Yeah. Directed by the Dean from Community. I don't know if you've seen Community.
Oh,
Jim
like
Rash.
Yeah.
oh. So not the. I was thinking Principal, Ava Campbell, but no.
Oh no, not Abbott Elementary. No.
Wait, what did you say?
Community?
Yeah.
Why did I
definitely
hear
translate.
Abbott Elementary?
You said school.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Community.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you seen Community?
I've seen some of Community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shows.
It's one of my favorites. Community is one where I feel like no one like absolutely hates it. I feel like people are just like, or like people love it. Like it really depends.
I know a lot of people are like diehard Community, and I do really enjoy it. I just like never like that's the kind of show for me, and I think a lot of shows like that are like this, like The Office even. Although I've seen way more of The Office than Community, but where it's one of those things where it's like I could just watch like any episode just like random out of order, like, and it's just on and I'll have a good time watching it. But I'm not gonna like sit there and like binge watch a season and like do, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of that was Blackish for a while for me. Like I would just be like, oh yeah, Blackish is on, let's watch it. And it's like pretty funny and you can like pick it up anywhere. Right. That was my show. Yeah. Cool.
Wow.
What's your next one?
My next one came out this year. One of my favorite movies from this year is Theater Camp, which was $8 million budget.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to put something from this year, and gosh, it's just so funny. And I think again, it's that kind of movie where it's like it all happens at a camp. So obviously not a whole lot of locations, and the film style of it is very like mockumentary kind of and like shaky cam kind of like it's a docu style a little bit. And
probably quicker to film that way, I'd imagine.
I think and like a lot of the actors are kids. I don't know how much they pay kid actors these days, you know.
They're all getting like $8 million plus. Robert Downey Jr. money.
So no, but I love it. I know we saw it together, right?
Yeah. It was your second time because you were like,
I had to rewatch it. Yeah. It's just so funny, and I think it's interesting because I like never went to theater camp. I think if you went to camp in general, like it's just a relatable camp movie.
Yeah.
And
middle school camp movie,
And I felt like it was one movie where like there are definitely movies that are super funny and like have some hard-hitting moments, but this one just like the whole time, like there's always something that you're laughing at. It felt like I was just laughing the whole movie consistently. It was so great.
I feel like it definitely like towards the end focused a little more on like the heartsy stuff. But like that, that first like hour or whatever. Consistently like hilarious little bits. Yeah, so good.
And even the end, like I'm just a sucker for anything with music in it too. So the ending, like all of a sudden, like it goes for a heartfelt moment and it's like sweet, and they're putting on this musical. And the last song that they do, suddenly you're just like, "Why am I about to tear up? This is so beautiful! Like what is going on?"
Well, even that last song. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, just and even like the comedic payoff of like the last song. Like.
Yeah, because it's earlier. The song is earlier, and it's like meant as a joke, and then it kind of pays off
because someone was supposed to write the last song for the musical, and they completely didn't, and were like put on the spot in rehearsal and just made up a song, and it was so bad, and you're like, this is clearly made up, and then they rework it into the actual song, and it's so good.
I was even like when she was doing that. The first time I was like, okay, this is a joke, but I was like, this is kind of good. Like I was even the first time I was like, I don't know, it was kind of good.
It's so funny. So funny.
Very good. Yeah. And love Jimmy Tatro, who's the like camp director. He's great. I don't know. Have you seen Real Bros?
I have.
We've talked about it.
Yeah. Your sister is obsessed with that, so we actually watched it together, like on Zoom over COVID.
Love it. Yeah.
And I think it was on like you had to watch it on Facebook.
It was very
Which
random.
Was so random.
They don't even do it anymore. Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, it was like Facebook Watch, which was like their like streaming thing, I guess. I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my, I guess,
second.
Yeah.
Third, I don't know what we're up to. My next one is it's Whiplash. We talked about it a little bit off air.
Okay, yeah.
It's probably my favorite on this list. In terms of just like movies, I love Whiplash. I was telling Michael the other day that like it's like depending on the day, I would say it's like my favorite movie ever. It's up there. I love it so much. And that's 3.3 million, which is like crazy given like the just the the way it's so meticulously crafted, like the editing is incredible if you watch it. It's another one where it heavily focuses on music, not like there's no like song in it or anything like that, but it's like it's heavily focused on music, and the editing and the way it's shot is so like built to that where you like kind of feel it. It's hard to describe, but it's such an incredible movie, and I feel like if you enjoy like music in that sense, I feel like you enjoy it alone.
No, it's one that I can't believe I still haven't seen at this point, because I've heard so many amazing things about it. Yeah. Because I love La La Land too. Obviously, it's a very different movie than La La Land.
Very different. Yeah.
But same director.
Yeah.
And I love music. Like I'm just like I don't.
It's right there.
I have to watch it.
Yeah.
I have to. You have to hold me accountable to that. But. Yeah, what was the budget for that one?
3.3 million.
Okay, yeah, which is also impressive.
Yeah,
because especially when I feel like some low budget movies are low budget, maybe because it's a lot of people's like breakout kind of thing, or it's like these aren't familiar names as much. But you had J.K. Simmons in there, and Miles Teller,
who's already like a name.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Yeah. What's your next one?
My next is Get Out.
Okay, how low is that?
$4.5 million.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't know that.
Okay, so I thought we were going to have this one in common.
Okay. Dang.
But I didn't realize it was that low.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't even look it up because I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was like, it was a lot higher.
Yeah,
wow,
I was really surprised. And I don't know if part of me is just because I assume in general horror movies usually take some more budget just in terms of kind of the makeup that they have to do, some of the effects, things like that. But it's very like psychological. It's not like there's not really gore much or things like that.
Not till the end.
And another movie that I saw that's low budget that I don't have on my list because like I liked it, but I'm not like in love with this movie is The Gift. Did you ever see The Gift?
I didn't see The Gift. Was that Jason Bateman?
What's the guy's name? He is a director too. One of the main actors in it. Oh, but Jason Bateman, I think, is like he's in that house, and like there's that weird guy that's stalking them. Okay, kind of
fun.
It's like the premise of it.
Got it.
Ooh, wait. Written and directed by Joel Edgerton.
Right.
Oh.
And he's in it too. He's like the creepy guy in the movie.
Okay.
But that's another kind of like psychological, like I wouldn't say horror really, maybe thriller, maybe yeah. But that's also low budget, but it's that kind of thing where it's like most of the movie is at this house, and Get Out too. Yeah. And again, they're not doing a lot of effects or gore or things like that. I mean, the sunken place effects are pretty cool, you know.
But those aren't even like super like
right.
Yeah.
So, but even with actors like Daniel Kaluuya and things like that, though, it's just a really impressive movie for being just
$4.5
million. Yeah.
And then, sorry, go ahead.
No.
Well, just the cultural impact and like the money.
No,
seriously, and stuff like that. Yeah. Crazy. That's the nice thing about horror is like there's some that I was researching that like aren't on this list because I haven't really seen them. Like Paranormal Activity was made for like
$15,000,
something crazy. Yeah. And it made a bunch of money. Like a bunch of these like the thing about horror is that they can be on cheap budgets and like. Especially if it's one of those where it's like they don't show the monster as much or it's like a lot of psychological stuff. And like then like from there it can make like a ton of money.
Yeah.
I think Blair Witch Project was another one.
It was super low. Yeah. Which I do not like that movie at all.
Me neither.
I don't get it. I don't understand how
I turned it off after like an hour and 10 in because I was just like nothing was
You were
happening.
almost done.
That's where, literally.
But nothing was gonna happen.
No.
So you.
It was just like rocks were moving, and I was like, kind of bored.
Yeah. But Get Out definitely, like you said, the cultural impact, and it's interesting too because Jordan Peele. I mean, it was his first movie, but he was such a name. Yeah. But I guess it makes sense, like your first movie. Like you're not gonna put a ton of money into the thing, I'm sure. I wonder what the budget of Nope was, but obviously that's a much huger scale and everything. So
I think Nope was like 60 or something crazy. Like I looked it up and it was like, whoa, okay, they're giving him more money now,
right? Yeah, but like for a directorial debut, I feel like that's most people would agree that's like a modern classic.
Definitely,
movie. Yeah.
It's one of those movies that like I'm trying to think of other ones. Like Knives Out is another one where it's just like. you can say like Kingsman, the first Kingsman, you can just be like, oh, we're gonna put this on, and everyone's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Literally. Cool. Okay, so my next one is, and I've been telling you to watch this one forever. Frances Ha.
Oh yeah. That's with gosh, what's her?
Greta
Gerwig. Yeah. Sorry. I'm like
one of your favorite.
I had Lady Bird on my.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is her name? Yeah. That's 3 million. And that's another one where it's just like a lot of like people just like in small rooms, just like talking essentially.
Okay.
So, and it was shot on digital, so I think that saved some money, but so good, so funny, so like emotional. I think you would like totally dig it, dude. It's amazing. And that's Greta Gerwig, and that's like Adam Driver, like before he was like Kylo Ren, so like he wasn't like popping yet. But he's in it. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other, and then directed by Noah Baumbach, who co-wrote Barbie, and made a bunch of stuff that we've talked about on this
Marriage Story, incredible.
Yeah, White Noise, incredible.
Not good.
Yeah, not a fan.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's my next one. What's yours?
Mine is, let's see, which one do I want to go for here? Because I have some that are really similar, like budget range. But my next one, I'll say 8th grade.
8th grade was on my list.
Yes,
was that the one?
Okay, yeah. So I knew that you were gonna have this.
Okay.
One. Well, I for sure thought you were gonna have Get Out, and then I was thinking of movies like last minute, and I thought of 8th grade, and I was like, oh, I need to add that to my list because I love it.
Yeah.
And I know you were gonna have it. And this is another movie that I saw for the first time in college, and I was like watching it. Had a little movie night with a couple friends.
Yeah.
And like we watched it. I went back like to my room.
Yeah.
And I watched it again by myself. Like right after I got which I think I have a little bit of a like problem where when I like something, food, movie, any other thing, I'll just be like, one is not enough.
Yeah.
You know, for me.
You're like a kid. Let's run
like,
one
I will
on
get,
again.
if there's good food somewhere, I will get like thirds and fourths and, you know. So trying to work on self-control a little bit more. But I immediately watched it again. It was just so good. And it was amazing because I was watching it for the first time. And there's the scene where they're in a mall.
Yeah.
And she's like going out with some other like high school friends she's starting to make.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, I'm like, wait a second. I was like, I know that mall.
Which one was it?
Well, it's the Palisades Mall, which is about like 15 minutes from where I grew up in New York.
Wow.
And it's a really popular mall over there because it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one of the biggest malls in the area for sure. But I'm watching, and I can't believe I recognized it.
Yeah.
Watching it, but I'm like, is that the Palisades? I was like, no way, what the heck? And I looked it up. I was losing it. So that was cool. But yeah, it is. I mean, low budget probably just because so many of the actors are like totally brand new. I mean, it's mainly kid actors who do such a great job.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's one of the few movies that perfectly captures just that like awkward middle school feeling. Like the angst and you're watching it and at points you're just uncomfortable because like it's such an awkward situation so many times.
Yeah. My sister doesn't like watching that movie because she's like, it's cringe.
It's
cringe humor, and she's like, she just can't do it. But I love it. I love that movie. It's so good. I watched it like probably around the same time that you did. Was it around Lady Bird as well? Was it around that time for you?
It might have been the year after, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like around. I watched Lady Bird first, so I think that was like, it's like, you know, when you watch like whatever for one of your first superhero movies that you watched is like one of your favorites because like it's kind of similar genre and you just grow less attached to it. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, if I saw 8th grade before Lady Bird, I might have loved it more, but I love Lady Bird more because it was like first. But I love those movies like so much, and like just like 8th grade is such an incredible, so like relatable. You're like, I definitely went through that like in 8th grade. Actually our friend Amanda, our mutual friend Amanda, she like we watched it together. I didn't even know you.
I watched it with her.
Yeah, we were together.
No, we weren't.
Oh, the first time you watched it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because she's a teacher now. She's a middle school teacher, so we were just like is this still something that happens? He's like, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny. No, but it is so much of it was relatable. Even though the main character is a girl, I feel like there's so many experiences that are universal.
Yeah,
and even just it's showing kind of what your relationship to your parents is like at that time.
Yeah.
There's so many great moments between her and her dad, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
That just hit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels so authentic.
Yeah.
And Bo Burnham.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Also the bit where she's like, I'm just going to burn all my stuff. I was like, that's the most 8th grade, like angsty, like I'm emotional and I'm experiencing stuff and I'm just going to burn stuff. It's like, yeah, that's definitely, definitely cool. Do you want to do another one? Because I had 8th grade, but like now I can't.
Oh, yeah, 8th grade. Okay. So let's see another one.
And what was the budget? Sorry, what was the budget for that one?
It was $2 million.
Okay, yeah. Crazy. So low.
Yeah. So this next one is there mainly because, and I enjoyed this movie. Mm-hmm. I'm not like in love with this movie. I think there's a lot of people who like definitely revere it way more than I do. Yeah. Although it is amazing, is Moonlight.
I didn't know that was super low. That's awesome.
This is crazy, and this is why I had on the list because it's like $1.5 million budget.
Sheesh.
And it was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, 1 Best Picture.
1 Best Picture,
But it's amazing, too, because a lot of times some of those low-budget movies, like, you might have, like, a performance that is really standout that can get nominated or things like that. Yeah. But for it to have technical nominations like cinematography, score, editing, like, for such a low budget. And especially, too, to have that low of a budget, but to have people like Mahershala Ali and wasn't, like, Janelle Monáe and people like that. But even like just thinking about the movie and the different places they go and like that story in 3 chapters kind of thing, like for it to be such a low budget is so crazy.
I figured it was like 12 or something like that. Where it's like mid budget.
Yeah, because it's just so well made.
Yeah. So cinematography is amazing. Yeah. The different child actors are all great.
Yeah.
Different like kind of a lot of different locations. Not like a crazy amount, but yeah.
And this is another one that I saw. I watched it with your sister over Zoom during COVID.
Yeah, I think I remember that actually. Yeah. She mentioned that because I think I'm not going to take credit for it, but I think I might have been like, "Hey, you should watch Moonlight." And she was like, "I watched it and it was amazing."
Yeah.
Such a good movie. That was. I watched that. I had like a school project due the next day, and I was just like, I have a friend coming over later. We're going to say, I'm just going to watch Moonlight. And I just watched it, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. It is really good. And of course, you know, like no one will ever forget the whole La La Land Moonlight thing.
Oh, forever tied.
And I like La La Land more than Moonlight, but I did... Both movies are really, really great.
I'm in the same boat where I like personally like La La Land more, but like Moonlight, like if someone was like if they said like, yeah, Moonlight won Best Picture and La La Land didn't, I'm like, I'm not mad at that. It's like a really good movie.
And it's a shame that they're going to be tied together like that when they don't really need to be like compared, and you don't need to be asking which one is better even really.
Right. But, they're different movies.
Yeah. They're so different.
Yeah. But, yeah. Cool. All right. Well, my next one was Hunt for the Wilder People. Which we were talking off air. You haven't seen before, but Taika Waititi, director.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. When did that come out?
The year before Ragnarok, which is wild.
Oh, it's recent.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and so it stars Sam Neill, who's the I'm trying to think. He's like one of the main guys in the original Jurassic Park. He's like one of the scientists, not Jeff Goldblum, the other one. And I don't know what the kid's name is, but he was in Deadpool 2. He was like the kid in Deadpool 2. I don't know if you saw that, but it's basically about like they like adopt this 13-year-old or whatever, and he's just like the worst. And then like, but
I already feel like I would like that movie.
It's so funny, and it's really good. But it essentially like he gets adopted and he like grows to love the family, but then the mom dies, and so like the orphanage is gonna like come and take him back. So then him and the dad just like run off into the woods, and like they start like a manhunt for them. It's super goofy, super, super good. Yeah.
Okay, wow. So it's, I mean, yeah, Taika Waititi, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Waititi, I'm sure it's goofy.
Yeah.
So is it like a comedy mainly, or is it like?
It's like a dramedy, but it like
Yeah.
leans more towards comedy.
Okay,
I would
okay.
say. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. Super good. What's your next one?
Okay. My next one is a documentary, actually.
Ooh.
20 Feet from Stardom, which was only $1 million budget.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I feel like I would wonder what the biggest budget documentary movie is. I feel like they
Yeah.
can't be like
Too high.
too high.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I'm very partial to music kind of movies.
Yeah.
And this is all about background singers.
Mm.
And really focuses on a few different background singers who, like, I guess are very embedded in the history of a lot of the biggest musicians and songs,
Yeah.
especially in like some of the rock and roll and like soul like genres in like 70s, 80s, 60s,
Like who?
like background singers for the Rolling Stones,
Okay.
Sting,
Okay.
also like Luther Vandross and people like that. And it's crazy because it's like the same woman. Like,
Okay.
and like there's a group of women and there's like certain, and there's also like this family that they highlight
Yeah.
that are background singers. And it's like if you needed a studio like background vocalist or
Yeah.
even touring, like it was these people.
It was just them.
And it's so amazing because it highlights their stories, and like these people are behind some of people's favorite like songs and music, and you like no one ever knows their name.
Yeah.
Like they're always 20 feet like from stardom basically
Yeah.
is the idea of it. But
Hence the title.
yeah, hence the title. But it's crazy too because it's like these people, like their voices are so insane, and they go through kind of, each of them had moments where they tried to break out and things like that.
Oh, interesting.
And a lot of them like couldn't find the solo success
Yeah.
of some of their peers, even though like just them as singers
Yeah.
like are on such another level. And I mean, one of them, Lisa Fisher, went solo for a period of time. Like Luther Vandross really encouraged her to. She was singing background for him, and she won a Grammy.
Okay.
And she like one of the most insane singers like ever, like on the level of people like, you know, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, like people, and won a Grammy, but just decided like, you know, I like being in the background. Like I don't want to keep pursuing a solo career, you know. But it's so interesting because it's a whole world that you don't know about that contributes so much to the history of music. And so I just loved the whole thing. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Yeah. That's
And I think it won the Oscar for Best Documentary.
Did it?
Year.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 2013.
the funny thing about best documentary and like categories like that is like you could say, yeah, this won best documentary, and like most people have never heard of it.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I feel like there's only a couple of documentaries that like that every couple of years that like really like break through to the mainstream. There was like that one I feel like I've heard a lot about, like Free Solo, like that one was like I feel like broke into the mainstream.
Right.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
My Octopus Teacher, I feel like I heard a lot of stuff about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, my next one is it's 8th grade, but we already talked about that. Reservoir Dogs, Quentin Tarantino's first movie. Do you know that one?
Okay. I've heard that name. Haven't seen it.
It is upsetting.
Oh. Okay.
This is one that I
Right up my alley.
Yeah, upsetting movies. Yeah, it's not like oh, this movie will make you cry. It's like, oh, this is like kind of unpleasant, like a little bit. I kind of only include it because I do enjoy it quite a bit, but I only include it because it's like famous for being such a low budget movie, and people love this movie. It's basically set in like basically a warehouse, like one warehouse for most of the movie, and it's essentially like set after a robbery, and they kind of like, it's this group of criminals that find out that like they were set up by the police for the robbery, and the robbery like went horribly wrong, and they're trying to figure out like who the snitch was essentially. Pretty action packed movie. Yeah, but it's kind of like it's just like a little bit upsetting. It's one of those like, I'm not really a fan of like when Quentin Tarantino like has like white people say the N-word. Like I get like his defense is like that like people like this would say that anyway, and it's like realistic, but it's like keep that out of my entertainment. You know what I mean? Like it's like I don't know. It's just like not fun for me. But still a good movie. And I don't know if I'd recommend. I don't think you would particularly like it, but
Very interesting.
it's just like it's kind of an important part of like film history. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what this podcast is about. So, yeah.
It is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, so I'm just bashing on it
Wow.
right in front of him. Yeah.
Well, I will. Yeah, now I'm intrigued. Now I want to watch it just to see where I fall.
If you, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's a good movie. Like I'm bashing it a little bit because I think it does get like a lot of love, and I think sometimes when movies get a lot of love,
because I've definitely heard of it like talked about like highly.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. Yeah. But yeah, still good. Cool. What's your next one?
My next one is an older movie. It is The Breakfast Club.
That's low
Which had
budget.
a budget of $1 million.
Oh my god!
But that, like, so $1 million, 1985. So obviously
Right.
it's like probably a few million, maybe like now. But
Probably like
still,
6 or 7 at
still
least.
low budget.
Yeah.
But I think it makes sense because they're just in a school for
library.
detention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is such a great, again, like, I think, as we've seen, a few of the movies that we have on here are very like a one location kind of movie is going to be pretty low budget.
Yeah.
So I thought, and movies like that, I think, give you so much opportunity to really be super playful with the script and like just pour all of your ideas and like effort into like just some of those other parts about movie making.
Yeah.
Like when you don't have to focus so much about going into sets and things like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Dialogue,
that's just a
whatever.
classic. My mom just loves all of those John Hughes movies, like 16 Candles, Weird Science. Like, I think is Ferris Bueller John
Ferris
Hughes
Bueller's
too?
Day Off?
Yeah, yeah. So all those movies were definitely a big part of my childhood, just because my parents loved them so much. And The Breakfast Club, it's just great. I haven't seen it in a while. Honestly, I should rewatch it, but.
I think The Breakfast Club might be the best of the John Hughes movies, like the 80s ones that I've watched. Because I've seen 16 Candles, I've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but Breakfast Club is amazing. Yeah, it's really good.
I do really love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I feel like it'd be hard to choose. I have to rewatch Breakfast Club again because it's been a while. But it is, it's such a classic.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. My next one is Fruitvale Station. Have you seen Fruitvale Station?
I have not.
That's another depressing one. It's not upsetting, but it's just it's based on a true story. It's based on Oscar Grant III, who was gunned down by the police in 2009, I want to say. But basically, it's about it's the day leading up to that, and like how he's kind of trying to like sort of like it's very interesting because it doesn't paint him as like an angel. Like I feel like some of these movies can paint them as like angels. Obviously, he was the victim in this shooting,
Right.
but like he wasn't like just a guy who was trying to do good and he was gunned down by the police. It was like,
And whether or not you're trying to do good or bad doesn't mean that you deserve to die.
exactly.
Like that.
Yeah. Like he was like, and I don't even know if this is true or not, but like it shows him like selling weed, and then like he decides to stop that day, and then like he's like maybe not super faithful to like his girl, but like it's like I think that is like way more interesting because it's like it's saying something about like, hey, again, like just because you weren't like a perfect person, and again, none of us are perfect,
Right.
doesn't mean you deserve to die.
Right.
Yeah. Super good movie. And that was actually Ryan Coogler was the director of that, who made Creed afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Panther. But,
Wow. Okay.
And starring, oh my gosh, Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan. So that collab that kept going. 3 movies deep.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's.
that was like Michael B. Jordan's. That's like the first one I can think of where he's like a starring like role.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I might have to add that to my watch list too.
Yeah. Super good. What's your next
All
one?
right. I've got 2 left. My next one is this is the oldest one on my list. It's Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Okay. Yeah.
The budget was $410,000.
Okay. I didn't know it was that low. Wow.
Yeah, which is low. Like, even when you think about inflation, because it was 1975, I like just Googled like what is $400,000 in 1975 today, and it's like a little over 2 million or something. Like that. So it's still low.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because like I'd figure most of the money probably went to like costumes and like some of the sets maybe like because they do some stuff with castles, but it's very just like. I just think that movie's so funny. Again, that's what I haven't seen in a while. But when I was younger, especially like 13, 14, 15, like my friends and I would just watch that movie and just die. And like we'd be quoting it and doing all the. But it feels very just like grown-ups playing dress up and being silly. Which is so fun about it too.
They're not pretending that there's some deeper meaning to it.
Right.
It's very silly.
And just like
nice.
the coconuts, like as they're going around so many of the like sketches they do are.
We found them,
yeah. It's so good to me.
Yeah,
but you've seen it too.
I've seen Monty Python. Yeah, it's so funny. I was even watching some of it the other day because I do some editing work and we had to use like some clips from Monty Python.
Okay.
And I was just like, this is goofy and I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I even heard like I don't know if this is true or not, but. You know, at the very end, I guess spoilers for Monty Python, kind of. It's not really like a movie you can spoil, but it's they're kind of approaching. I think it's like the dragon's lair, and they just like never get like they get there at the very end, but then they just get like shut down essentially.
Yeah.
By like news reporters and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah.
I heard that's because they ran out of money for the movie, and they were just like, let's just like write it so that they just like shut it down.
Funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good. Like creative idea for
Solution.
shutting it down.
Yeah. Like we can't do a dragon. Like let's just.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, very funny movie. Such a classic.
Yeah.
Cool. My next one is Searching. Have you seen Searching?
That name is so familiar. I can't picture.
It was the same guy who did Missing. Through
okay.
Screens?
The first. Yeah. So Searching was that.
The first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw Searching. I saw Missing though.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's like similar concept type of thing.
Similar concept. I would say it's probably a little better than Missing. Missing did like some more interesting stuff with like the internet stuff.
Right.
But yeah, essentially it's like
that makes sense that's low budget.
Is 880.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
There's no like you're not like filming any locations really. Like,
right.
There's not even like any like super regular cameras, I feel like. It's just like phone screens and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's essentially like it's one of those movies where it's all set from like a laptop screen and it's like essentially like it's supposed to be like a screen recording kind of. It's not actually, but and it's just this guy is like trying to solve the case of like his missing daughter. Yeah, super good movie. Some of the acting is like not great, I feel like, but like generally it's like a pretty great movie. Very fun movie to watch with people. I've watched it with like two different groups and they're just like very like they're like oh like you know that moment.
And like the twists and everything. Yeah. Like, gosh, I know that's one I've wanted to see for a while. And so when Missing came out, I was excited to see that.
Yeah.
I definitely need to watch Searching, though, because Missing was good, too.
Yeah, Missing was good. Yeah, I saw that one, too. But yeah, Searching.
All right.
Look it up.
Now, I'm on my last movie. Do you have any more left?
I have one more.
Okay, great. So we're each on our last movie. So this one, have you seen Once?
No. Is that super low budget?
Yeah.
How much?
It's $180,000. So Once, and that it's a John Carney movie. So Begin Again, Sing Street.
Sing Street. I love both of those movies.
Yeah. So Once was his. I don't think it's his first movie. I don't know. But it's early on. It came out in 2007.
Yeah.
So it was before like Begin Again, Sing Street.
Yeah.
And most people consider it his best movie.
Wow.
Of that kind of genre, and like Begin Again and Sing Street, people like those are good movies too, but they're like he's not quite capturing like what he did with Once. Kind of is the vibe.
Wow.
Of people.
What's it about?
It's so I don't know if it's set in Ireland or if it's set I don't know, but it's this guy who's kind of just like busking on the streets, like playing his guitar, singing on the street and stuff.
Yeah.
And he happens to meet this woman who is an immigrant, and I think she I'm even trying to remember because I saw it a few years ago, and I saw it with Talia too.
Okay.
So but I don't want to say anything wrong about the movie, but I think she's like currently struggling, where she is as an immigrant, and she has some dreams of being a musician, I think. And so they kind of connect. I don't know if the first time they meet is him singing on the street, and I think they start talking, but there's the one scene to me that is like a standout is they're in this like music shop together, and he just starts playing the piano, a song he wrote, I think, and they sing it together, and it's Falling Slowly.
I love that song.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that song.
So it's
Okay,
it's from Once.
Okay.
But the whole movie it's really like about their relationship,
Yeah.
and they're kind of both struggling in life.
Yeah.
And they end up kind of being able to collaborate on some music together, and they like go to a studio and they like start making some songs. They end up not together at the end, really. I think, if I'm remembering correctly.
Spoilers for Once.
Yeah, I think. I don't totally know, but I'm like, I need to
Maybe
rewatch
spoilers.
this movie.
Yeah, maybe
All I know is
spoilers,
it was very but you can tell watching it like it's low budget.
Yeah.
Like just in terms of like camera quality and other things like that. And it's a very contained, like it's just following these two people really. But I thought the relationship dynamic was so interesting. The two actors were very just like, I don't know how they chose them.
Yeah.
But like I think it was both of them first time acting really.
Yeah.
And so it just feels very like real, like authentic performances.
Yeah.
And the music in it, some of it is just so beautiful, like, and just very, it has a really interesting like tone. Like the way the movie's shot too, it's pretty dark, I feel like.
Like visually dark?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's just like kind of melancholy about the whole thing. But yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
movie.
Falling Slowly. It's so good.
It's so good. Yeah. And he's John Carney has a new movie coming out this year.
I saw that. Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about. Flora and Son. Another music type. Like
Yeah.
just keeping that lane.
I saw that billboard and I was like, I saw the headphones and then I saw John Carney. I was like, I wonder if it's the guy who did Sing Street. Like I hadn't fully connected the names.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm just gonna mention real quick. This is not my last one, but the movie Following, which was Christopher Nolan's first movie that we were gonna do. We were gonna do it for our first episode, then we decided on, or second episode, then we decided on Wes Anderson. But that one is in 1990 whatever dollars. It was like 5,000 or something like that, like something crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's like it doesn't really show. Like there's a couple things where like there's like it's like a thriller, so like there's some like violent stuff where you're like, okay, I could like kind of tell that it's like pretty low budget, but everything else is like it feels like about the same as like a higher budget movie. I'm not recommending it because it's so weird. It's about like people who like go into people's houses and like just like check out their stuff essentially and just like, what's your life like? It's like really weird.
I kind of like the sound of that.
It's
Well, that sounds interesting.
It's so interesting, but you're like, I feel like wrong, like watching this. Like it's interesting, but yeah, it's still a good movie though. But my last one was Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay, yeah. Which is crazy that I also haven't seen that movie.
You've never seen Napoleon
No,
Dynamite?
I have friends
crazy.
that are obsessed with that movie that would quote it all the time.
That's
and
wild.
I've never seen
You
it.
never saw Napoleon Dynamite.
And I know, like, you say Napoleon Dynamite, I picture it. Like, I know what he looks like.
Yeah.
I get the, like, but no. And I also, that was one while I was, like, looking at some movie budgets that I saw that was super low. And I was
Yeah.
like, I can't believe I would have thought it was higher just because it I guess got so big culturally.
so revered, yeah. So that was 400K, which is like
crazy.
Wild. Such a good movie. So funny. It's really weird, like but it's very, very good. Yeah, it's a lot of quotable lines. And that's another one where it like reached the mainstream and like I don't know if it made a ton of money, but it's like definitely people love that movie. Yeah. Cool. Well, that was our last one.
Yeah.
Do we...
I'm interested. Do you when you watch new movies or you're like thinking about movies that you want to watch,
Yeah.
is budget something you're like looking at it all in terms of like making a decision about like movies, I guess?
Maybe subconsciously, I think I gravitate towards movies that have lower budgets, or like I think sometimes when I'm just not super interested in movies that are like 100 mil plus. I think at the risk of like generalizing it, I think that sometimes those movies can try to play to like very big audiences, and then sometimes they become less special and like personal and like in a way that like I feel like sometimes you can relate to. There are obvious exceptions. We did a whole episode on Marvel, and like I love a lot of those movies,
Right.
but yeah, I think I also gravitate to like thriller movies, which are like a little lower budget, and then like comedy movies again, like a little lower budget, and then like movies like weirdly like a genre I've been like really stuck on recently is like movies set in like a room, or like movies where like people are
Like,
trapped
or
or
just
whatever.
one place or just
One
yeah.
place, yeah, Breakfast Club. 10 Cloverfield Lane was one I
Yeah,
watched recently.
Don't Breathe was another one that's like really low budget too
Okay.
for like a horror movie. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
Oh yeah, these people are like, there's this group of kind of like low level thieves sort
Yeah.
of that just like break into places and take their money.
Yeah.
And there's this old man who's blind who like they go to break into his house, but turns out he's like this insane war veteran, is like he can't see, but all of his other senses are super heightened. And so now basically they're like trapped in his house and he's going after like killing them and they're trying to escape.
Sheesh.
That one's awesome, but it's just in that house.
That sounds
And
very
so that's
fun.
pretty low budget too.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't Breathe. I'll probably check that out because
Yeah,
that sounds
yeah.
right up my alley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because while I was looking to, I love animated movies. And so I was looking to try and get a vibe of like some animated movie budgets. But I feel like that's one genre in particular where over time, like it's just up and up. Like
Yeah.
people aren't really making low budget animation. And I think part of it is so everyone's trying to make the animation look so good
Yeah.
and like look refined. And as technology improves and things like that, like it just seems to get more and more expensive. And I feel like I can't think too much of some animated movies where they're like going for a style that looks like unpolished or like
Definitely. Yeah.
is not going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Especially some of the studios, especially that put out so many of the animated movies, like
Yeah.
Pixar, Disney, like they just spend more and more money. It feels like every time,
Definitely.
which is interesting. Like and I'm sure there are some studios or some animated movies that have like gone for a little bit of like a less is more approach in terms of their style and what they're trying to do.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think, is one of them.
Maybe, yeah, but I think, yeah, I'm gonna.
Generally,
even
though.
then, I feel like animation is probably just an expensive medium. I think.
Yeah. You can there's workarounds to live action that you can like cut costs, but like not really
Right.
with animation.
That's why I was trying to find the budget for Marcel the Shell Shoes on, because it's like, it's not like a typical animated movie, but
Right.
like in terms of the stop motion animation and things like that.
Yeah.
I was interested to see, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I guess we'll just be guessing. Yeah.
I wonder what Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio was.
That's a good question. I feel like that got like a decent release as well, and it's like Del Toro, so it's like
Yeah. And it is like the craft of that kind of animation, like stop motion, especially. Again, I feel like just for how much time it probably took them to make and how many people had to work on it. But
yeah.
It's
Probably
also
not
it's also a Netflix movie, so they definitely had the budget.
Yeah,
and
sure.
it was apparently 35 million. So
Sheesh.
honestly, not that
that's
bad.
that.
For
Yeah, that's
stop
not
motion.
bad for an animation. Like
For animation,
when
no.
Disney and Pixar are spending like 250 million.
True.
These
Yeah.
days,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, they'll spend like
that's actually pretty impressive.
yeah, like whatever 9 figures on Shrek
Yeah.
or whatever. Not 9 figure, whatever, like 100
9
million. Yeah.
A 9-figure Shrek movie.
Yeah. What is 9 figures? That's like 100 million.
Oh, I
or
guess it is
something?
100 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no. I was
Billions of
maybe
dollars.
a billion is 10. Okay, yeah. Could you imagine like 10 figure
$1 billion Shrek
Shrek
Yeah, make it. What would they spend the money on? I don't know.
well, they'll figure it out.
Here's $1 billion. Make Shrek 5.
I hope I live to see that day. Actually,
$1 billion movie.
A $1 billion Shrek movie. Actually, yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah, you're just old and gray, and you're just like, we made it. I can die peacefully now. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Do we want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't really have a sign off for these the better episodes, as you said.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks for listening. Please, if you're on YouTube, like this video because it does help us in the metrics. Subscribe, again, it does help us in the metrics. If you're on our podcasts, if you're on Apple or Spotify, please leave us a review because that is the way that we get to that more people get to listen to this. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Definitely, if you're on YouTube too, let us know your favorite low budget movies.
Yes.
I definitely just from this, I already walk away with like several movies I know I need to watch. Whiplash is at the top of my list for sure.
There you go.
So definitely give us some recommendations.
Yeah, that'd be cool because I'm a big fan of finding like super low budget movies. But yeah, thanks for listening. All right, bye guys.